Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming to you live from Black Fact Central on our last evening of Jackie Torrence Tales. We've had 31 days. This is the 31st day of telling the tales from the mind of Jackie Torrence. It's been like a marathon, but it's been a beautiful thing. And we're going to be moving on to new tales from a variety of people on one topic for the whole month of September. And that topic will be Black West. That's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to go Black West. Cloppity clop, the clop, the clop, cloppity clop, the clop, the clop. That's right. We're going back west into the days of the horse and the buggy and the rodeo, going Black West. Okay, but not only will we be going to the rodeo, we're also going to be going all the way out to the far west coast. And we're going to talk about something that you might be surprised about. We're going to talk about an American caliphate. Now, if any of you are familiar with the word caliphate, that's Caliphatate, we usually associate that with people from the quote unquote Middle East or somewhere farther east of where we're at now, for sure, on the other side of the Atlantic. However, this is an American caliphate. We're going to talk about a caliphate that existed and exists right here in America today, right here under our nose, that we don't even realize is there. We're looking at it, breathing it, sucking it in and blowing it out every day and don't even know what we're doing. Yeah, we're going to do a little revelation, a few revelations here. Okay. And these are revelations, the kind of revelations you can track down, trace, and what's the word for it? Verify. So let's get started with our program tonight. Our proverb for tonight is, looks won't do to split rails with. Looks won't do to split rails with. Think it's obvious, right? Plantation proverb. Rails, by the way, are what you use to make a fence out of. Fencing rails. So looks won't do to split rails with. Plantation proverb. The extra for tonight. Wait a minute. Extra from last night. What fashion designer said his clothes were intended not for the queen, but for the people who wave at her? And that would be none other than Willie Smith of Willie Wear Ltd. Willie Smith of Willie Wear Ltd. And we're going to give you a new one tonight for tomorrow when we get done with our story. We're on part 3 of Jack's trip to hell. So if you recall, in our last segment, Jack had just figured out who he was dealing with, because he was dealing with a sure enough, dyed in the wool, for real devil. That's right. All dressed up in sheep's clothing, because he didn't know he was dealing with the devil. And now the devil's got him down here dealing with these imps. And Jack is trying to figure out what is an imp? What does an imp do? So the devil puts Jack in this room. Jack complains that he can't see what's in the room. So the devil says, let me put a little light on the subject. He goes to the middle of the room, opens up a furnace door, and light floods the room. And Jack could see shelves upon shelves upon shelves of little cages. And inside all of those little cages were little tiny things with great big old heads. Little bodies with long arms and great big hands on them too, with long skinny fingers. Jack said, bah, what's that? The devil said, them's my imps. Jack said, imps? I heard of them things, but I ain't never seen them before. They's ugly. The devil said, I think they's very cute myself. Jack said, what do you do with the imp? The devil smiled and he said, I send him out on earth to keep up hell. Ooh, Jack said, what kind of hell do you mean? Well, the devil said, let me tell you, this bunch over here breaks up marriages. This bunch over here knows how to start wars. This bunch has got 75 different kinds of religions. And that bunch over there, well, they's got all kinds of stuff to put in your mind. Change your brain waves. Well, Jack said, but devil, why am I in here? What am I going to do with imps? The devil said, well, you see all them imp fingers on the end of all them imp hands? You see what they doing with them? The imps were sticking their fingers through the bars of the cages and picking at the locks. The devil said, they can take them imp fingers and pick the locks. And when they get the locks off, they come out of them cages, run all over the place they do, and they lose weight and they get tired. And then when I get ready to send them out on earth, they're too tired to keep up hell. The devil said, now, Jack, your job is going to be to keep them from breaking them locks. Jack said, how would I do that? The devil said, here, I'll show you. He picked up his walking cane, spotted an imp that had the lock open, took the cane and hit it. Get on back in there, he said. Get back. If you don't get back in, I'll ram this thing right down your throat. Get back. And the imp looked down at the devil. Bah! Shabba-lop-a-lop-a-lop, shabba-lop-a-lop, shabba-lop. Jack said, did you hear that? That was the meanest, ugliest thing I've ever heard in my life. The devil said, yeah, I taught him how to curse like that. Wasn't that cute? Jack said, nah. The devil said, wait, here's another one. Watch this. Get back. Go ahead now. Get back. If you don't get back, I'll knock you out. Get back. The imp looked at the devil and said, shabba-lop, 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 shabba-lop. Shabba-lop, shabba-lop, shabba, bomb, bam, shabba, bam. Jack said, that was worse than the other one. The devil said, I taught him too. Jack said, well, what am I supposed to do here? The devil said, here, see that one up there? Had his imp fingers out, go get him. Jack took the walking cane and went up to the cage. He said, little fella, you there. Go back. You mustn't do that. Go on now. The imp looked at Jack. Wah, ba, shabalop, plop, 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 plop. Jack said, oh no, nobody has ever said a thing like that to me. Oh, that was horrible. Now listen, the devil said, I've got to be gone for 100 years, he said. When I get back here, I better be able to count every one of them imps. And they better be fat and sassy and ready to go. Jack said, but how many do you have in here? Last count, I had 100 million. The devil said, and they better be here when I get back. And he disappeared. Well, all Jack could do was look around. Then when Jack started into his job, the imp started right into Jack. They tore his clothes until he was naked. He had nothing but a belt and pockets hanging off of it. He had 3 hairs left on his head. He had 2 teeth in his mouth. His ears were hanging down on his shoulders. His eyes wouldn't stay in their sockets. And he had 2 toes left on his feet. The imps sat on him. The imps spat on him. They slapped him and they scratched him. For 40 years, Jack ran around trying to keep them imps in their cages. He just couldn't take it anymore. He said, I don't care what the devil does to me. I can't stand this. I got to do something. Suddenly, he felt something in his pocket. He dug down deep. Look here, he said. It's my good luck piece. I don't care what the devil does. I can't stand it. I'm going to read this here book. Maybe it'll keep me from getting spit on and scratched. So Jack took the book to the light of the furnace. He pushed one eye back into its socket, put his ear on upside down, and commenced to reading the book. Bible, Bible, and he opened the Bible. In the beginning was the Word, he read, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Suddenly, Jack noticed it was quiet in the room. He looked all around. Sure enough, the imps were caught in midair, listening to Jack. Some of them were still holding the locks, but they were all listening. And the Word was without form or void, and God said, "Let there be light." The imps were still listening, so Jack said, "Did y'all like that?" And the imps said, Jack said, "Would you like me to read some more?" And the imp said, Jack said, "If I read to you, will you sit still and not spit on me and scratch me and carry on?" And they said, Jack didn't know what they meant by that. Jack said, "All right, then, I'm going to read to you, but I'm going to watch you now. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth." Jack noticed that in the cages way in the back, the imps were holding their skinny imp fingers behind their ears like they couldn't hear too well. So Jack said, "Can you hear back there?" And the imp said, Jack said, "Would you like to get out of the cages?" And the imp said, Jack said, "Well, wait a minute." And it took Jack 20 years to go around and empty all those cages. Then he rode the imps up all in a line. Jack said, "Now don't touch one another." And they didn't. Jack said, "Put them imp fingers in your lap." And they did. And Jack read, and he read, and he read. Well, it took as long as it took him to read to the imps. They never moved, and they all listened. On the very last day, when Jack finished reading the Bible and closed it, the devil popped in. "Ha! I'm back." He said, "Wait, why is it so quiet in here?" "What's wrong?" Jack said. "Ain't nothing wrong." "Yes, there is. This room's supposed to be wild," the devil said. "I'm supposed to hear cursing. It's quiet in here." "Where are my imps?" "They're here," Jack said. "Look down here." The devil looked down and he couldn't believe what he saw. All the imps were just looking up. The devil said, These are my imps?" The imps were all looking goofy, smiling at the devil. "What's wrong with them?" the devil said. "They's all glazed over or something." They're all right, Jack said. "I just been reading to them." "That's all? Reading?" The devil said, Reading to imps? You don't read to imps?" "What are you reading?" Jack said, "Oh, I was reading this here Bible." The devil said, "What's a Bible? Let me see it." He snatched the book from Jack's hand and he held it up to the light of the furnace. "This ain't no Bible. This is a Bible," he said. "You done converted 100 million imps." Well, the devil, he was mad. The devil was so mad, he threw Jack out of hell. And 100 million imps with him. Jack had so many imps, he didn't know what to do with them. So he took some north, he took some south, he took some east, and the rest he took to the west. And they repopulated the earth. Now listen, if you get to yelling at your children, or hollering at your husband, or screaming at your neighbor, don't feel bad. You can't help yourself. You are a direct descendant from those imps that were thrown out of hell with Jack. And that's the end of that. Bit of a surprise ending there, wasn't it? Thought they were going somewhere else with that story. You had no idea where that story was going to lead to, did you? Well, that's just how I planned it. That's right. That's just how I planned it. And so did Jackie. Well, we're going to have to leave, Jackie. But I hope you have some good memories. And if you ever want to hear some more of these Jack tales, you feel free. Just come on Black here again, and you can listen to all those Jack tales over again. So you just go ahead and feel free. Ain't no big thing. All right. Now, in the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is go ahead and for the last time in the month of August, on August 31st, I'm going to tell all you little children to lay your little heads down on your little pillows, on your little beds. Close those eyes and wait for the sun to rise. And when you see that sunrise, and not before, not a 1 minute before, it's okay for you to go ahead and get up then. And you can start on your day. All I ask of you is not to be an imp. Please don't be an imp. Because then you make me feel like a gimp and I might have to act like a chimp, okay? So don't skimp and don't act like an imp. Meanwhile, for all you adults out there, don't forget, you got my coordinates right down there below. You can make a donation to our cause. We could use some good donations right now. Any amount will do. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 more. Give what you can and give till it hurts. Give till it feels so good. You just don't know what to do. And you can't act like you just feel even better than best. Okay? So good. That's what I want you to do. Just give until you can't give no more. And all that money should go straight to Black Facts Educational Research Incorporated. We're on the list. So when you get in there, you'll see us on the list. Don't send any money through GoFundMe because we're not using that. We're strictly doing it right here on this platform on Facebook. All right? So for tonight, we're gone, but it won't be long. We'll be black here tomorrow at noon because this is Doc Ock at noon and 9 signing off. Peace out now.